Hey, welcome to VMware Explorer 2024, day one. Man, today has been filled with announcements, filled with great conversations here at the Virtually Speaking podcast booth, and this one is certainly no exception. We've had many conversations today around cyber resiliency and what VMware is doing in general as it pertains to security, and so this is just going to be another great conversation in that area. We're talking about AVI Load Balancer, and here to join this conversation with us is the head of products for the A&S division, Prashanth Gandhi. Prashanth, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. And also joining is a good friend of the podcast. We've had him on before, but he's also a customer. His name is Waldemar Pera, and he works at a new company that I'm going to try to pronounce here. It's Ate Innovar Juntos.
Very close. Very close. Thank you.
Did you like my Spanish accent?
Yeah, very close. Thank you.
Juntos. I did
Innovando juntos, but it's okay.
Sí. Muy bien, muy bien. Okay. Very good. Yeah, so you are a known nerd in the community, doing a lot of good things, working with not only all of the networking products, but also in the Kubernetes space. I know you've done some great presentations that have even won some awards, and you're doing more here, so that's exciting. We want to leave links to your sessions in the show notes of the podcast. But thank you for joining this conversation around AVI Load Balancer.
Thank you, Pete.
So let's start with you, Prashanth. Like, what exactly is going on with AVI Load Balancer here at Explorer this week?
Yeah, well, just to step back, right? We have VCF, which is a private cloud platform, compute storage network. And once customers deploy a private cloud platform, what do? They need to deploy applications. And when you deploy applications, you need to secure them. And no application is deployed without a load balancer. And that's really where AVI comes in. Mm-hmm. And one of the key sort of excitement of AVI is that it is plug and play with VCF, right? So when you look at virtualized infrastructure, containerized infrastructure, AVI becomes an ideal load balancer. The other sort of impedance match, if we were to kind of call it, is VCF is software defined.
Yes.
And AVI is the only software defined load balancer. So if you want a software defined match in regards to load balancing with the infrastructure, then AVI is your only choice, right? So now what's going on with AVI here? And so we have announced integration with SDDC Manager for lifecycle management and integration. So from SDDC Manager, you can get to deploy AVI.
Oh, okay.
And really, what is our focus? What do we ultimately would like to do? There's so much delay in customers deploying applications because of a load balancer, because of hardware load balancers, lots of manual steps you have to deal with. We want to deploy load balancer at the speed of applications. And so that's where integration with SDDC Manager becomes critical. Integration with ARIA automation becomes critical so that you get self-service. So these are sort of the announcements that we are making at Explorer.
Okay, and so the AVI Load Balancer now being part of SDDC Manager, most of the folks that listen to this podcast are very familiar with SDDC Manager.
Right.
So that's really good news. What is that going to be tied to? What release is that tied to?
It is VCF 5.2.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So hot off the presses.
Very good, very good. So I'd love to hear, I know you talk to a lot of customers here as head of products. And fortunately for us, we also have another customer here next to us. But I'd love to hear first from you, like, what have people been saying about AVI Load Balancer this week to you at Explorer?
Yeah, so, with AVI, where customers have found real value is if we look at traditional load balancers. By the way, traditional load balancers have not changed. We look at every other technology that has changed except the load balancers.
Yeah.
They're still primarily hardware. They might have virtual edition, but that's basically hardware packaged as a VM, right? And so the concept of software defined has just not arrived in the traditional world of load balancing. So where customers would have 100 pairs of load balancers, hardware load balancers, they reduce it down to 10 AVI controllers, like a 10x, decrease in the number of managed devices. Imagine the number of upgrades you have to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so customers see that as a huge benefit. The second is really analytics. AVI sits right in between a client talking to an application, and it is a proxy. So it terminates TCP, terminates HTTP. So it's a great place where you can get the health of the application, health of the HTTP and SSL transaction, latency related to these transactions. So now, if you have an application issue, very quickly you can find out by going to the AVI app dashboard and see where the issue is. To the extent that we have customers telling us that this is app dashboard, they actually give it to the DevOps teams.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? And say, hey, you figure out first, is it an application issue? Is it a server issue? And then if that's cleared, then come and talk to us, the load balancing team, right? So it becomes the triaging of application issues becomes very quick.
Yeah.
Root cause to an incident, you speed it up.
Yeah.
So these are sort of the aha moments that customers are sharing. And it's not just X-Explore. We had last couple of days our technical advisory board, and customers have been very excited in terms of the value they're getting and then the roadmap that is ahead.
Very nice, very nice. Walter, I'm curious from your perspective. I know that you've worked with it for a while. You've done some migrations, and you actually worked with other customers, and you presented on it. Yeah, what has been your take with AVI Load Balancer?
I agree with this. This time, the technology behind the load balancer is not changing in the last year. But the challenge now is different, because now when you create a cloud, it's not site, it's an operational model. You have the tools to create the same private cloud inside with this around VCF. When the started is not only deployed something load balancer, you need additional tools, especially, for example, for the DevOps teams to see what happened with the application. So when you're talking around AVI, around what is running in VCF, you have to change first the 0 day to deploy the solution in easy and quick way, and day 2 to start to consume and see and open the solution not only with a load balancer tool. Use AVI like a tool to the DevOps teams to see what happened with the application. See more quickly time to innocence in the problems. And you provide, for example, visibility to the DevOps team that before doesn't matter. So AVI is an amazing tool. Very good close attaching now with VCF 5.2. Really in the easy manager to deploy the solution and start quickly to deploy for traditional application and modern application.
Aha, yes. Excellent segue into my next question, actually, was the modern applications. So I know that you've done a lot with Tanzu and with Kubernetes in general use. So I know that's definitely one of your strong suits. So what has been your experience with AVI and Kubernetes?
My experience was starting, for example, several years ago, starting some presentation in last Explore Barcelona and repeat now here in Las Vegas, was explained for the network and security teams how use network security tools inside Kubernetes, especially network security stuff and the load balancer.
Yes.
So when you try to explain, you have the same tools, the same experience. Doesn't matter it's legacy application or modern application, and at the same time it's not stopped to the DevOps teams. DevOps teams use the more traditional automate way, kubectl or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the same time, the infrastructure teams have the visibility, the control, what happened, and open again. So you have one tool to balance every application.
Yeah.
And that is the change. And one more point, this experience is not only for the private cloud, it's possible to grow in the VMware cloud in other place. So it's the same load balancer for legacy and new application and every VMware cloud what do you have.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, hybrid cloud is a great use case for customers. And to add, basically with Kubernetes workloads, right, they're dynamic, they're distributed. So you need a software load balancer. I mean, it's kind of, otherwise, how do you make that work?
Yeah.
Now, once you have that, where AVI plays a part is really Kubernetes ingress or container ingress, right? So now we have been enhancing that with gateway API, so very standard way of calling load balancing objects to be able to support the ingress functionality for containers. The other aspect we have found is that analytics is now extended to container workloads, which before it was black box.
Yeah.
Now customers can see applications that are on containers, also get the first class citizen treatment in terms of issue analysis, incident management. The third factor, which is kind of surprising to us, is that there are customers who are saying, how do I protect my web servers that are on container environments? Well, there is a web application firewall built into AVI. You just turn it on. It's part of the same license. You turn it on, and now you're protecting the web applications. And in today's environment, no application is safe.
Yeah.
Or the other way to say it is that if you have a weak spot, you can't say that I have a critical application, I'm going to give them white glove treatment from security perspective, and then I have these other applications non-critical, and I need basic security. No, because the attacker comes through a weak point and then laterally moves and finds the high value asset, right? So having that layer of protection through web application firewall becomes important.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm assuming that this works very closely with VMware vDefend.
Absolutely. Yeah. With Antria CNI that we have for vDefend, and combination of that with AVI, we have the AVI Kubernetes operator, AKO, that gets deployed, and then you can turn on WAF along with vDefend.
Yeah, that's a really nice pairing, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. When you think in that case, normally the people think in the zero trust only segmentation, but no, zero trust is always you need verify in different place, and AVI is a perfect place to protect and verify the application.
Yeah. I'm curious from a migration perspective, though. How does that work? How are customers migrating for AVI?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So the journey that we have seen with customers is that, right, initially they start with, for example, modern applications, Kubernetes workloads. They could have VDI workloads. They might be doing data center consolidation, so they're standing up a VCF private cloud. And those are great use cases for customers to start and get their feet wet with AVI. Once they're there and they see the speed of deployment, the ability to operate at scale, ability to deploy, have DevOps team deploy with ARIA automation or Terraform or Ansible, deploy applications and load balancer alongside with it, so almost no delay. And so now they want to extend that to across all their workloads, right? And so what we are offering is a converter tool. We call it AVI Converter Tool, or ACT, that allows customers to take existing, legacy load balancers, migrate configurations to AVI at the click of a button. Customers also write custom rules in these hardware load balancers, and a famous one is called iRules, for example. So we also provide a way for customers to convert custom rules and iRules over onto to AVI. So that speeds up their migration onto AVI.
Yeah. Waldemar, you're over here shaking your head. It seems like I think you agree with that.
Yes, it's very common. When you have a traditional hardware load balancer, normally you have too much story running ball. So the migration is a challenge for the customer.
Yeah.
But if you have the tools inside AVI to create that migration, to reduce the problems in the migration, reduce the risk in the migration, it's more easy for the people. Okay, this is the way. It's possible to take my move to software load balancer, to take in the new things, but you defer what is that migration. It's a perfect tool.
Yeah.
You starting with it, you reduce very well what is the change, especially when more tie specific customer rules, not traditional, and it's perfect to reduce the risk in that migration.
Yeah.
And if I may add to that, right now we are also providing cookbooks for customers.
Oh.
So hey, here are specific use cases, right? And then we are providing cookbooks, how-to videos, automation scripts, best practices. It comes as a package, and now customers can quickly onboard their teams and deploy AVI for a variety of use cases. And we are offering very use case-based short modules from PSO, professional services. So if customers need to augment, or have resource challenges, but they want to get this deployed, we have an expert team who are experts in all these cookbooks and can quickly get started with that. So
I like that. Well, last question for you before we take off. We're at Explore. There's a lot of conversation. Anywhere you go, there's a lot of conversation around AI.
Right.
And certainly VMware is having a lot, talking about VMware private AI, but where does AVI play in that? I know you're head of product, so what's the vision with AVI Load Balancer? Is there an AI component that's current, or that we can talk about?
Absolutely. I mean, no conversation today goes without
it's just between
AI
us.
and
You can
ML,
tell me.
right?
It's just us.
Right. So the analytics module that AVI has for application health monitoring, right, and latency analytics, it has AI ML part and parcel of that. We can't do it without it. ML learns from the data, understands what is happening with various components that are related to health of an application. The AI portion of it correlates across those symptoms and determines what is the overall health and gives recommendations in terms of where the issue might be, right? So that's been built into the platform. Now you might say, well, this is the era of Gen AI,
Yeah.
right? We are at the beginning stage of that, but it's has an opportunity to provide very transformative experience to our customers. And what are our customers really caring about? Hey, I can do policy. I can do a way to define what policy should be. But all the mundane works, can I have a machine do that? And that's what we did with AI/ML. But can we do it to the next level with a natural language interface, right? And so that's where we are looking at a co-pilot. It's a co-pilot, so we still have the pilot, which is human being, but co-pilot is a machine.
I like that.
That can do all the messy things that takes just a long time for a human to do, and provide operational insights, configuration insights, application insights in terms of what might be going wrong and alerting you ahead of time, and just interact naturally with the co-pilot and get the information or the issues related to AVI and do troubleshooting. So we think that that'll, again, give us the next level of boost in terms of simplicity and the speed of operations.
Yeah, I agree. That's an exciting space. I'm going to keep looking, and I encourage everybody that's watching this to definitely keep looking out for AVI Load Balancer with some coming artificial intelligence, but definitely great stuff now that's on the truck. So go to VMware.com and go to products, and you'll be able to see all the information about AVI Load Balancer. Waldemar, thank you for joining the conversation. And Prashanth, thank you so much for sharing all the updates.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Explore.